Blaster Fire. Zafatomo Speedway is not liable for any injury, death, or disintegration. Thank you.
Welcome into today's video, and today we are talking about Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 4. While Hunter and Echo are off shipping Nerf nuggets, whatever that means, Omega, Tech, and Wrecker get dragged into trouble with Cid's entry into, not pod racing? It's called riot racing. Her droid racer, Teo, loses the race, and she finds herself taken hostage by debt collectors. Ultimately, Tech must enter the race and win to save Cid. If he wins, Cid's debt will be forgiven. The team have their doubts about Tech's abilities, but he wins by focusing on speed and maneuverability. He stays towards the back of the pack until the end of the race, and he lets the other racers finish each other off. The episode focuses on Tech, giving him his moment to save the day and to try to develop him as a character. He's a thinker, not a fighter, and we see that with all the strategies he tries to employ in the race. He so quickly observes the game, is able to completely understand how it works, and implements a winning strategy. So, surprise, surprise, Tech wins the race, and Malegi, the gangster that is holding Cid hostage and that she owes the money to, honors their deal and lets Cid go. But he warns the Bad Batch she cannot be trusted. This is obviously creating tension for a future conflict. If you ask me, I think in a future episode, Cid will have an opportunity to sell out the Bad Batch or save herself. And while I think they're gonna try to make us think she's opting to sell out the Batch, ultimately she'll do the right thing to save them. As we all know, a theme of Star Wars is that it's never too late to do the right thing. So this one, it's not a groundbreaking episode, certainly not as good as last week's, but it's not a bad one. I think a lot of people might call this one filler, just because we're only presented with part of the batch, and they're doing kind of a self-contained story, but I do think it does enough to develop the characters, and I think it was a fun enough premise. I'd be unhappy if every episode was like this, but I think it was entertaining enough within the broader season. I'd say what sets this episode apart from some of the other episodes is the humor. I thought the humor was actually pretty good this episode, very different from the serious tone of last week's with Cody. Not all of the first season's episodes are immediately fresh in my mind, but I think this is the funniest episode of the series. There were several moments that were played for laughs, and I thought did it pretty well. The guy in the crowd just getting taken out by a stray blaster fire, Teo waking up not being able to feel his arms or legs, Tech trying to win the race, focusing, asking questions about the course, and meanwhile Wrecker's just kind of there in the background being like, yeah, but you're still in last place.
With a few more adjustments, he may be capable of racing.
That is hilarious. Ha ha ha. I am more than capable. I am ready to... Where are my arms and legs?
So the show is kind of lowering the temperature, so to speak, with from last week's heavy episode, and I think the inclusion of Teo was good. Teo's a pretty good racer, but he's arrogant, rude, and dismissive of others. You know, I used to think that people like Teo didn't actually exist in the real world, but they most certainly do. So I kind of found it nice to sit back and just marvel at his ridiculousness without actually being one of the poor souls there in the room with him. His whole character introduced a silliness and humor, and I thought it worked well throughout the episode. But anyway, what did you think of this week's episode? Let me know in the comments below, and definitely consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, as that always helps. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I know this episode did actually serve as some nice escapism for me. Just kind of tried to tune out the stresses of the world for roughly 30 minutes and watch some animated Star Wars. We all gotta find that. Thank you for watching, and bye!